Hello and welcome to Bengaluru, the day on which the city has voted. Or has it? We'll come to that in a bit. Voting was held today in Karnataka for 14 seats out of 28, the southern part of the state, including this great big city of Bengaluru. 3 seats, Bengaluru North, Central and South, went to the polls, along with Bengaluru Rural and Chikballapur, areas which actually cover Bengaluru city. But did Bengaluru really vote today? These are still provisional figures from 6 p.m. and we do hope, lots of people hopeful that these figures will actually go up. But we're looking at Bengaluru North at 48.28%, Bengaluru Central 42%, Bengaluru South 49%, and look at Bengaluru Rural 59%. A huge, huge difference. There is hope that those figures will go up. But these provisional figures make us feel that perhaps Bengaluru has done it once again, that rather notorious distinction of not voting. Now, I know this is like preaching to the converted, but who is registered here and who voted? Okay, again, like the fact that you're here to talk about an election show means you are interested. Harish Pichur, what is happening with Bengaluru? Why are people not voting? Is it the long weekend? Is it apathy? What goes on?
Okay, firstly, I hope we haven't crossed the Plimsoll line of last year. Last year, Bengaluru voted 56%. I suspect we'll float at the same level. But even if we fall, it simply means that big cities are notoriously cynical. You know, big cities are crazily cynical most of the time. And Bengaluru also has a bad habit in the sense all our elections come appended with 3 off days, which are really notoriously famous to be used.
Is this planned? Did it have to be the Easter weekend this time around, or do you think it's just unfortunate timing?
Well, all I can say is Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Priya Chetty Rajgopal, another concerned citizen here. Do you feel that there's something innately... Why does Bangalore do this each time around?
Well, I live in hope, and I feel that compared to last time, where there were about just so few people at the electoral station that we were on, it would be better. It wasn't. So, it's a little galling to imagine that people won't come out in large quantities, large numbers to vote, especially considering the kind of conversation and the kind of pitch that those conversations are happening. So, I think the divide has got something to do with it, the holidays, apathy, and sometimes it's just about that last minute thing of just not caring enough. But there has been a huge attempt and an effort, I think, from a peer level. Citizens have been actually exhorting each other to say, please exercise your franchise, do the right thing, vote.
You did say you live in hope. What was the turnout in hope?
I don't know, and my station was really quite poor. But I was glad I was there. Sometimes you can just say that maybe that when you were not there, there were more people that were coming in. But let's hope that this year is better, and every time it just gets better. And eventually the government that we elect reflects the people who came in and exercised their franchise.
I think if people could vote via Twitter or on social media or WhatsApp their vote in, probably it would be better. Revati Ashok of BPAC, I know your group has also been trying to get people to get out there and vote. Do you think you had any impact, or is it just we don't vote city?
Well, it is sad to see that the numbers don't seem to have gone up. We were quite hopeful that at least it would have gone up by another 3 to 4%. We were hoping that we would touch somewhere close to 60%. But there's still time, still hopeful. It will be nice if it went up to 58%. I think there has been some interest because we went right across to several colleges and we tried to get them all registered. Some places we were very successful, but I think we still have a long way to go with respect to this whole business of getting people registered to vote, and how do we get suddenly people deleted from the system?
You feel the electoral rolls were also an issue. Missing names, there may have been people, thousands who wanted to vote but who couldn't.
Yes. The phone has been ringing non-stop. Yes. People saying, I voted last time, I voted during the MLA elections, what happened to my name? And yes, it is our responsibility to go and look at the online website, and a lot of people still, in spite of EC sending out advertisements again and again, that the EPIC card is not what you need to look at, but you really need to look at whether your name is there on the list, online list. That's the crucial thing. But you have to keep looking at it every week.
Yes, because we also met many people at the voting booths who said, but we voted here for 3 decades. Where has our name gone? But that is not enough. You have to keep checking. You have to keep checking those lists to see if you are actually on those lists. Ironically, of course, Rahul Dravid, one of the EC ambassadors for voting here in Karnataka, he shifted home. He couldn't follow up physically. His brother had his name deleted from his earlier address. Rahul Dravid didn't vote. Kiran Mazumdar's mother couldn't vote. Her name was deleted. You have to keep checking. Now, Abbas, you work closely with Prakash Raj, the candidate from Bengaluru Central, where we are right now. It must feel very flat for a politician after all that effort. The people don't actually come out to the booths.
Absolutely, absolutely it does. We, like Revati said, we were hoping for a 60% at least, where the millennial voters come in. They are the voters who really looking for the first time.
Yes.
I'll tell you what has happened. You know, when you smell mud, it's rain. When you smell tar, it's elections. And most importantly, people think of it as a holiday. All right, it's going to be a long weekend.
Yes.
And let me tell all our beautiful, wonderful Bangaloreans, our beautiful citizens, that voting day is not a national holiday. It's a day where you use your constitutional right, your fundamental right to go out there and vote. The rest of the days could be other days. It's very easy on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram to say, you know, to say against a political party or a political neta. But if you want to make a difference, if you want a change, you really need to go out there and vote. I think politics today has become a bad word, and a politician is a swear word. So therefore, if you wish to make a change, especially the young voters, need to start the change.
Go out there. And which organization do you represent? Your name?
I'm Meenakshi Ravikrishna. I'm a BPAC trained B-Clip civic leader. Yes.
And voting was pretty disappointing so far in Bengaluru.
I think people have lost faith in democracy and the politicians. Yes, I feel that we should just find out alternatives, alternative politics and that means like not only the national parties, so more of independent leaders should be encouraged.
So cynicism generally. Now had a rather cynical start to the program, but now I'm going to go across to those who did vote, because half the people of Bengaluru don't seem to have voted, but half of them have. Now, you voted? You didn't vote? You're not registered here, or you registered?
I'm from Telangana, so I couldn't go there and vote.
You didn't vote in Telangana either. I know lots of people actually travel to Telangana to vote, actually.
Yeah,
right?
the thing is that I had exam on 12th, so I couldn't go. And
You couldn't vote there? Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah,
What
so
about you?
I have voted.
I can see that. Let's show that finger. That's the only day you can say that and still be polite. Show your finger. Okay, so why did you vote?
Because there are issues that I care about, and for me the issues are much bigger, and I hope that whoever it is the MP, I can reach out to him and get these issues raised in the parliament.
What are these issues?
I care about women and child safety, I care about POX related amendment, I care about trans bill, and there are a whole lot of things that I care about beyond scope of Bangalore.
So are you looking at an individual when you vote, or are you looking at a party?
I'm looking at both. I also looked at both the parties' manifestos.
Yeah.
I also looked at the individuals. So it was, a major matrix where I used both the combinations to vote.
And you voted?
I'm registered elsewhere.
Okay.
So I'm registered in Nagpur. I'm planning to go there.
You are planning to go there?
Yes.
And what will you be looking at when you vote?
A lot of things actually. Not just what has happened in Maharashtra, but also in Karnataka itself.
Okay.
For example, Maharashtra itself has had a beef ban.
Okay.
Okay. Not just the selling of cattle for the purpose of meat.
Yes.
So that is something I'll look at there when I'm voting. On the other hand, there's corruption as well.
Corruption is an issue for you.
On the other hand, I'll also look at a regional issue for Karnataka, which is water. Now, we have had the Kaveri issue raging for the longest time. Okay. Of course, the Supreme Court has stepped in. But there should be political will as well. Not just to solve the issue, but ensure that people everywhere get equal amounts of water. Even if...
Water is a hugely tricky issue. And
Yes,
you voted?
Yes, ma'am.
You did vote. Why did you vote? What were you thinking of when you voted?
Corruption, ma'am. Corruption is on the rise today. Like every other person I meet, what they told me today is like I'm not going to name the party, but then there were people who asked me not to vote today. They said, see, there's corruption everywhere. So every other political leader is under corruption. So please don't vote for them. And what disturbed me today was, the conversation that I had with my mate today, this morning. I asked her if she would vote. She told me, no, I don't want to vote. I asked her, why? Why not? You're supposed to vote. She said, no. She said, because this time I did not get any money or any saris. Why should I go and vote for them? Okay. What's the need for them?
Okay, well, so what is the incentive to vote? Because, yes, I've also heard people working in my house say that they got 1,000 rupees from each of the three main parties in Bengaluru in the last assembly election. 1,000 rupees from the BJP, from the Congress, from the JDS. So this is really one way of getting cash. If they didn't get cash, why would they vote? Harish, do you think that, since the voting is over, we can ask, do you think that communalism was an issue in this election? It's been a much discussed topic, really. Was that a factor, do you think, when people voted here in Bengaluru?
You know, I think all these issues exist all over India, and so also within Bengaluru for sure. Communalism was certainly an issue, as were other issues which related to infrastructure, corruption, and 20 other things. But if you look at it, you know, I think people's ability to come out and vote is hit by corruption to an extent. Like one of the youngsters just mentioned it. I mean, you know, there's a give and take kind of an idea in a democracy. That need not exist on physicalities. That must exist on metaphysicalities as to what a governed and elected representative can do for you, for the entire city, rather than what he can do for you in terms of saris and freebies and stuff like that.
It's a bigger picture. It's not about the saris. It's about... Do people keep that in mind? Do people really believe, you talked about cynicism, do people really believe that their vote can make a difference? The person who represents them in parliament can make a difference? Or is that too metaphysical?
What choice do we have? You know, if you look at the way that we moved on, I don't think I'm particularly a strong political voice or very well read as far as that's concerned. But, you know, you tend to vote for the party. This time around, I thought that you should just follow what you should be doing.
You're looking at the candidate this time around.
Looking at the candidate. I said, what can we do? Having been a citizen that's been so involved in issues around Bangalore and around particularly my area, the issues that really concern me are, you know, of course, corruption, mobility, the city infrastructure and heritage, animal welfare. I've got 7 issues that I'm very concerned about, and I'm concerned about how these candidates are talking about it. So what was really nice was seeing people come out and discuss this Today, I sent out a message saying, this is the time you're probably the most important person in your MP's life. But guess what? You know, the one thing that we've all learned as citizens is it's up to us. This also helps us ensure that we should endeavor to remain that important for the rest of the 5 years. And we should remember that we are still VIP.
It's interactive. It's not once in 5 years.
Yeah, so we need to be able to keep that dialogue going. At the end of it, I'm holding you responsible. And I need to feel the power to hold you responsible. I think that empowerment is where we've missed the boat, and I'd like to hold on to it this time.
What did you feel when you interacted with voters, when you were urging them to vote? What did you feel were the issues that got them interested enough to actually go out there and cast their vote?
I think there was a sense of helplessness. There were 2 categories of people who are very decided. They were either going to be voting for Congress or BJP or very hardcore, and they clearly knew what they were going to do.
They had decided whatever the candidate was, they were voting along party lines.
They were going to vote along party lines. But there is a huge, there is a chunk, I won't say huge, there is a chunk that is undecided, doesn't really care whether they vote or not. If it's very convenient and it's literally brought to your doorstep, then they'll vote. And you have to literally spoon feed them with information, and then they may vote. So those are the people we have to really influence, because those are the people to whom you can appeal with data. You can show them research about what the candidates have done, and they are willing to have an open mind and make their choices.
We'll just come back. We'll get some more voices here from students. You voted, I can see. Yes. And what made you go and vote?
Corruption is one of the big issues, but another big issue has to be unemployment.
Unemployment, absolutely. All of you are young, you're all studying, and you all want jobs.
Yeah, so the government has hidden particular data, and also there has been reports that it has been an all-time low. So it's a very big issue which is plaguing the nation.
And you feel your vote in terms of which government you choose will make a difference?
Definitely. Probably a change in government might help the employment issue.
A change in government might help unemployment issues. What about you? You've also voted? Why? What drove you there? What difference did you want to make?
Actually, my dad forced me to go there. And
well, that's honesty for you.
Yes, and I voted for Nota. So,
Nota?
Yes, because there is a lot lacking of knowledge about the candidate standing. I don't know anything about the candidate.
You didn't want to cast your vote for somebody you may not respect, but you didn't know enough about them. Did you try to find out about them?
Yes, I know few candidates, a few people like 40 people gather around and tell that wo sher hai or ya wo chor hai, and people from the other party shout the anti-slogan. And I know the candidate named Prakash Raj, so
Because he's an
he was
actor.
related to our
Because
college and stuff.
okay,
So that's all knowledge. That's not enough for me.
And yes, I can see that mark there.
So voting is my right. So I get a chance to speak in the nation. So it is my option to vote or not vote. But today voting gave me an opportunity to give out my opinion towards the country.
In which aspects? In which issues?
I am choosing my own leader. So I will, the person who is going to represent. Yes. So I'm going to choose who represents me. I do not want to lose out on the opportunity.
Not just be a social media warrior.
Yes.
What made you go and vote? What concerned you? Why did you vote?
I voted because I was scared. With the sedition laws existing right now, I want to be heard. We are the world's largest democracy, and because of the sedition laws existing, we are not heard in the right sense. The thing is, we needed to be heard. It's our country. We are in a democracy, so we need to go out and make our opinions felt, and where our opinions has to take charge.
So freedom of speech.
Yes, freedom of speech is always the first thing.
Time for a short break now, but do join us back again after that in Bengaluru, the day the city voted, or did it? At least half the city voted, but it looks as if half the city didn't. After a short break, we'll be back. Welcome back to this discussion in Bengaluru on the day that the city was meant to have voted, but provisional figures showing a turnout of less than 50%. We've talked about, the students told us some of the issues that they consider huge. What for you, since you're really kind of involved in the campaigning, what for you were the issues that got people out, the ones who did come out?
The biggest issue being the ones who vote are most of them below poverty line. They are used like a crane and brought to the polling stations, voting stations, and they're sent back. So much of money is involved. Most of the campaigns, the political parties polarize the votes in terms of money, religious tactics. Also, the political parties give the ticket to even those who have criminal records or who are even accused and convicted, and they are given the tickets. So this is a big factor where I think the urban voters, the other side of voters, back out. Because they think, why should we vote for the criminal? Why should we vote for somebody we have no respect?
We do instead what that young gentleman did, Nota. I don't want any of those candidates. That is a concern, the fact that the people you're voting for are just not good enough. For you, what are the big issues in voting?
I guess right now, I'm not even registered. The biggest problem for me is I don't want to stay in Bangalore after graduation. So there is no point of me getting registered here. So that would be for me. The thing is now it's high time, I guess, with the PM coming on Twitter and everyone, being on social media. I think they should make it eligible for people to change their addresses or something online.
Vote portability. In digital India should have digital voting.
Exactly.
You think everybody would vote if we could just send a WhatsApp with a, or
maybe not WhatsApp, maybe a portal or something. Whatever.
Online voting, that is something I've heard everywhere, that people mean to, but they just don't get around to going and checking it. If there could be online voting, that might help a lot. For you, what are the issues?
I haven't voted yet, and I'm not registered also. The same issue, the main problem is unemployment right now. After graduation, we all need jobs right now as a youngsters.
And you think it matters which government is in power for that?
I don't think so. Really, they're focusing on right now this issue,
nobody's talking about jobs.
Yeah, exactly. But some stats say that they have provided some jobs for the youth, and they should work upon this.
Okay. Yeah. And for you, when you are voting, if you are registered, if you do vote, for you, what are the big issues?
Well, for me right now, I'm afraid today I couldn't vote because in my own constituency in Darjeeling. But moreover, the most important thing currently, all are speaking about development. But that's the only same page all the political parties are speaking about. But again, they are not speaking about people, main issues current. For example, for me, it matters youth policies.
Youth policies.
Which we need. We speak about employment.
Would a younger candidate appeal to you more than the senior citizens?
Yeah, that can be a better option. But last time when I saw one BJP candidate, Tejasvi Surya, I was happy that at least some youth candidate came. But moreover, I was sad when his statement came that anyone speaks about the government, it's anti-national. I don't know. I know. I guess this kind of toxicity of language in the politics is growing more and more. I don't know. People are just talking about each other's thing, but they're not talking about the key issues.
Negative campaigning. Yes, negative campaigning. Do you feel that it was particularly negative this time round in terms of the campaign, in terms of the way politicians reached out?
Yes, ma'am. I feel the campaigning around has been a lot negative, considering both the parties taking a jab at each other with their comments, especially the ministers and the bigger leaders in the Congress as well. But it is not the negative politics that should be concentrated upon. Rather, we should be focused upon the key issues such as law and order, such as the basic infrastructural development. That should be the issues concerned.
It should be. Is it? Do you think the politicians really think about
I really think like infrastructure and everything, the development is very important in but the unnecessary development is we don't want that extra unnecessary infrastructure like the unity of the Statue of Unity.
The Statue of Unity is unnecessary infrastructure. And for you, do you feel that?
So like I'm from Nagpur, and recently Nagpur, the construction of metro stations will be there.
Okay.
From personally, there will be no requirement of metro
No requirement
in
of metro in
Nagpur.
Nagpur, but it's a lot of money involved in such projects. And for you, the big issue really, the
at this point of the time,
2019 big issue.
The big issue would be the difference between a democracy and theocracy. I think the party who is serving us right now, based on my opinion, I think it's going for a more theocracy part of view rather than a
Theocracy more than democracy. It's a very,
democracy.
very bright young students here, optimistic Bengalurians here, hoping that the voting percentage will go up. But on a day that Bengaluru voted, it does look provisionally that around half of them didn't vote. Were their names missing? Didn't they care? Did they feel their vote wouldn't make a difference? Didn't they like the candidates? Whatever it is, Bengaluru, it doesn't look as if the voting percentage was great. I voted incidentally. I think I should make that clear at this stage. But thank you for joining us here on the show on the day that Bengaluru voted. At least half of Bengaluru voted. And we only hope that in the years to come, more people pay attention to elections and come out and vote. Thank you for joining us here in Bengaluru.